This is the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is not a traditional interview show. These are perspective-driven conversations with founders, builders, and independent creators shaping what comes next. We go beyond headlines, beyond hype, and beyond price to explore ownership, freedom, and opportunity in the digital economy, where builders talk freedom, not price. Hello, and welcome back to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan. Today's guest is Harvey Liu. He's the co-founder of LeveX. Harvey's journey has taken him from computer science in Canada to INSEAD and to venture capital in Asia, investing in early crypto companies, and eventually becoming a founder himself. Rather than talking about markets or token prices, today's conversation explores what happens when you've watched people lose trust in financial systems and decide to build something different. Harvey, welcome.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, and thanks for joining
Yeah,
me.
thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to join you today. Yeah.
Great. So let's start. Let's kick things off. And I want to find out, who Harvey the person is. So, first, where did you grow up, and what first attracted you to technology?
Well, that's a very interesting question because I recall back when I was really young, I was raised in China, and at that time, remember I was very young age. I was very interested in computer gaming at the time. Then that gaming and program actually brought lots of interest to me. So I studied computer science under my undergrad. Well, after I studied, graduate from my computer science degree, while I working with an internet company in Canada, I was also by a chance, so I got introduced to some investors groups, where at the time we were looking at the tech stocks. Actually, I was very early. Actually invested in Apple shares and Google shares at the time. It was like definitely very low valuation compared with what it is now, right? So I think from that past, I started to learn, look into the financial reports of all those big tech companies. I think I was at the time I was thinking missing some knowledge about financial and that kind of business side of things. So I decided I need to go grad school. So I applied INSEAD and one of the top business schools. So I was able to achieve the I finished my MBA degrees at INSEAD. So after that, so I decided maybe there's more of business side of things I want to look into. And also I got a very good opportunity. I got an offer from one of the top venture capital firms back in China. So I took the opportunity and went back to China, started to become a VC investor for the VC funds. That was 2012, 2013, I went back to China. So from there, I started my journey with venture capital and invested lots of mobile internet firms, startups in China back then. And during that time, also my friends introduced me to blockchain and Bitcoin. And that's why I had very early adoption and actually had the opportunity to look into blockchain. That was back in 2013 when actually not too many people in China actually looking at blockchain yet. So uh, even as an institutional investor, I was lucky enough to get the chance to look at some of the early trading platforms like HTX at the time. It's called Huobi.com. Even I think OKX, their former entity is called OKCoin. I was also able to interview their founders as well at that time. But I think that's where I started to look into blockchain and everything, right? So I even invested a little bit in Bitcoin. I remember it was like $100 at the time I invested, but I but nobody really know what's gonna happen now, right? So I sold for 300, and but lucky enough, I already made money, but we missed a big long-term investment. But that's where I get very interested in blockchain. um, I think during the COVID time, that's just a little bit flashback. COVID time, I think there in China, there's not many opportunities, especially on the VC side, because everybody is slowing down. So I also had another opportunity. I should work for a venture capital firm in Singapore, and that's where actually I started actively looking into Web3 companies and doing investments. And also at that time, I started realized I used because I had experience with blockchain. I sometimes doing tradings. I used many platforms, but I think something was missing at the time because they like back in China in 2013, we didn't really have too much information can be shared among like the newly interested investors in blockchain. We don't have the platform to share. So at the time when I was in Singapore, I was thinking maybe at the time, the Binance that didn't really have a Binance Square yet, so we were having the idea. So we want to create a public social platform combined with the traders and trader chat share and trading ideas. So that's when we had the ideas to build our own exchange. Among many of the traders, I have built relationship over the years, even KOLs. They contribute so many ideas. So with all the resource in venture capital and the tech side, so I was able to assemble a very experienced team. So we were able to actually create the projects and create a startup, and eventually we launched LeveX. So that's the whole story how LeveX actually was built up. Yeah.
I want to go back to 2013. Okay,
Yeah.
so you grew up in China. Okay,
Yep.
you're an early investor in Google and Apple, which are American companies back then. Now they're global,
Yep.
right? Okay, and you go to INSEAD. Okay, and you're early to Bitcoin, which in China, in 2013, China was buying real estate in the U.S., but not anything really else. They were just expanding their presence. So, um, how how does North American thinking differ from Asia? Because you had a global thought process all along, and then what do
Yep.
founders in China often misunderstand that Western founders, or understand that Western founders don't understand, or vice versa?
Well, I think the cultural difference is I think is quite huge. I think like you mentioned, at the times in Chinese market, as people, I think they're more leaning towards investing in real estate rather than technology. Like the average people, they would save up their savings and they would buy their first house. I would say maybe after they work for 4 years. So they just don't set aside the money for investment. Basically, they invest in real estate. That's the biggest investment they would have, right? That's the average people. For founders, they all kind of I think they do similar things. So basically, at the beginning, the founders will uh, uh, working very diligently. They will stack up their maybe the startup the founding of the startup company using their own savings instead of raising funds. And so as a VC investor, I think the first step at the beginning, when I was working in the industry, when I talked to the startup founders, I have to teach them how fundraising works for especially for venture capital for startups, how they would be able to actually raise funds and scale up using the funds they would have raised and then adapt the technology faster than they're working on their own capital. So basically there's lots of actually founders they think they have a great ideas. They don't want to share with the other shareholders. They want to keep their to their own. So at the initially, like there's some good companies is really hard to invest in. So basically, so I have to go through the teaching process and let them educate them a little bit how they could be using the VC venture capitals to help them to grow faster. I think that's they are being more conservative compared with the Western world. I think because especially in Silicon Valley, because there's so many years of venture capital has exist, and there's so many companies has grown up faster using like raising funds and using VC institutional money to help them to grow faster on the technology side. So I think that's the major difference. So it's more, I would say, at the time, I think founders in North America would be more open up for fundraising, like for VCs. But at the same time, I think China was a little bit conservative, and also the structure or the funding source of the VC funds is a little bit different too. Because I think in China there are a little bit more state owned, like huge companies, or even the local government will put in some seed money for the VC funds, because they want to help to grow the economy locally. So as a VC, we call our like we get our money sometime from the government. So that's one difference. I think in Silicon Valley is more like a maybe from big corporations. I think it's very little is from the government. So that's a huge difference as well. So
Got it. So you knew,
yeah,
let's go. You spent time investing before you became a founder, right? So, and
yeah.
you just explained to me what founders often miss. When you were going through this process, what did investors consistently must misunderstand about investing in blockchain and technology?
I think there. Well, by saying misunderstand, I think there's lots of misconceptions. I think about Web3 or blockchain companies. So I think because there's a couple things. There's like average people, and because there's so many news has been talking about maybe during the bearish cycles, and there's so many companies that actually go like a the crypto price is dropping a lot. So people thinking crypto may be a scam, or people like there's misconceptions on that. So especially the average people, right? So, but I think with the especially the last couple years, because the adoptions of like ETFs, Wall Street and institutional money started investing in Bitcoin, and the more and more average people get educated, I think like Bitcoin and crypto it's a alternative way of accumulate your portfolio like an investment. I think it's more recognizable right now. But I think also there's another type of misconceptions is the traditional finance and the when they look at the crypto, right? So basically I'm from kind of traditional finance. I was investing in traditional company as a VC investor. There's many of them. I think back then I remember there was a very famous Chinese early adopter of blockchains. Is called Mai Gang. He's also invested in PopMart. He's one of the very few people actually. It's just going to different conferences teaching people about the how a blockchain will change the world in the future. And he bought lots of Bitcoin at the time, but nobody really understand that time. So actually, even my own VC firm. I wanted to invest in one of these block Bitcoin trading platforms at the time, but because a part of my VC firms fund is coming from the government, and the government doesn't understand most of it. So we were not able to pass our investment committee. So it's really hard to proceed. So that's one thing. Like the traditional finance will have some misconceptions of blockchains as well. And I think the last part will be within the Web3 realm. People would also have a bias. Like there's Bitcoin maxis, right? So there's Solana believers, and then they also seeing each other different. So, so for me, I think I am a Bitcoin maxi. I think Bitcoin in long run will provide like value storage. But at the same time, I also believe in Ethereum and all these potential applications Ethereum can do. Even Solana, I think those two is very good, especially for right now. There's at the times we have this traditional finance, it's called TradFi. It's actually merging with blockchain. They go RWA to real assets, stocks is going on chain. I think this could be potentially on the next bull cycle. It's actually it's a hot topic. It's gonna be where the money would invest. I think that's definitely a good potential opportunities for Ethereum and Solana on the next bull run. So that's where I'm betting as well. So basically, we have I have maybe like a 70% of my blockchain investment in Bitcoin, and then the other 30% goes to Ethereum, Solana. Yeah,
Great. So there,
yeah.
so the misconceptions there, I would say, I'm going to ask, was there one moment where you realized that traditional finance was not serving everybody equally and that blockchain actually mattered?
Definitely. I think I could name one example because we had invested in so many projects going on IPO, right? So when the traditional finance or traditional like IBDs involved in with IPOs, they always get their maybe some their special like a special rights to maybe subscribe for more shares than the average people can, right? So the average people, if they want to subscribe to the shares they wanted, it's kind of really hard to do so. But right now, I think blockchain had changed so many things. For example, even SpaceX or even Anthropic right now, like if, even they are not even go on public yet, and their tokens, like the token representing their pre-IPO shares, is already being traded on Hyperliquid and on Binance, on lots of crypto exchanges already. So people, if they really would say they really think the company will grow a couple like a percentage like fivefold or more, they can just invest now, right? So through the blockchain tokens instead of waiting for IPOs, and it's open for everyone. So
Got it. Got it. So did LeveX begin with technology, or did you begin with frustration and solving a problem that you were frustrated about?
well, our initial like our goal is to actually make trading easier for everyone and increase like we want to the traders together, they can share ideas. We believe trading together is stronger than trading yourself. So uh we have uh, basically our platform, we have a section called exclusive content. So we will work with closely with some very famous or very good reputed key opinion leaders. So they will share their view on the market, and we often we put lots of concentration on promoting like Bitcoin, Ethereum, rather than those altcoins or like those smaller coins, because smaller coins most of them eventually might bleed, like the price will go down quite significantly. So we want our users to invest safely. So we give them the good content they can follow. Basically, they increase their chances of success trading our platform. And also, we had been improving our trading features, and it's easier to use. The UI experience, everything is very user friendly. Also, we I think we put lots of concentration on security and technology behind to support the platform. I think one of the most important thing is security. So we want to make sure the assets user put on our platform is 100% safe, and we also provide the proof of reserves every month, and so the users can check their own as the proof of reserve, make sure their asset safety. So I think that's the whole thing. We want to deliver a extraordinary user experience. At the same time, we want to make sure safety is the top priority for our users. So basically, that's what it is. Yeah, right now.
I want to dive into that. So
Yeah.
you're solving a trust problem, right? How do you think that people perceive the fact that you're solving a trust problem, yet you're using these KOLs, these key opinion leaders, who might have other incentives, that are not aligned with your incentives? How is using them actually undermining your trust?
Well, I don't think. I think we have very strict rules working with the KOLs, so we will closely monitoring it. We our content side, we have moderators. We monitor all this content they provide, and also we will have a certain like agreements with the KOLs and which type of majorly we want them to promote maybe the Ethereum Bitcoins instead of the smaller ones, because the smaller coins you always there's conflict interest. Then the people can do pump and dump and wash sale, all kinds of things they can do, right? So we actually closely monitoring those, and I think also because we work with the like only the top I would say top 5% of the QLs available out there, because those kind of QLs they also respect themselves very, like their reputations very carefully, so they don't really give out like very false content as well. So I think that's it works both ways. We work with the top KOLs, and the top KOLs produce the top content, which in terms would help our users to acquire the proper knowledge to do the tradings. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say it makes business sense as long as everything is transparent.
Yes. Yes. We will try our best to actually make things very transparent for the user, because the blockchains on chain, like everything you can check on chain, especially like a proof of reserves, right? So we can publish everything in as much as we can, and just allow the users to check on their own. Yeah.
Got it.
Mm.
So you went to INSEAD, then you went back to China, then you went to Singapore. Okay.
Yes,
So
I was in Singapore. Yeah.
Singapore, it wasn't initially a crypto hub, right? So how and why did it become a crypto hub? And then what lessons in leadership did you take away from that experience being there?
Uh, I think, like you mentioned, Singapore. I think prior to COVID, Singapore is more like a trading hub. I think it's more related to traditional finance. But I think after COVID, there's many. I think I would say um, many people from the crypto realm actually moved to Singapore. Lots of, I would say, founders, many influential people have moved to Singapore. At the same time, Singapore government was actually trying to look for more area of growth, because post COVID, everybody was looking for new areas of growth. So I think digital economy. I think that's what it calls. So Singapore, at the time, I remember they were giving out license for digital payment systems. So basically, you can do payments through USDT digital currency, and there's so first the fintech, then digital payments. Then they start to open up their arms to welcome all the founders for Web3 projects. So lots of founders actually moved to Singapore because there's more openness, and the government actually was facilitating it. But uh, I think things changed a little bit because there was so many people moving there, there's some of the projects was actually was doing something actually violated the rules. I think remember there was a big news. The Singapore government caught some people was doing money laundering through digital currencies. So then I think 2024 they started tightening up all the policies and everything. So right now, I think for us, I think I see there's more opportunities maybe in Mid East because even Binance is moving their headquarters to Abu Dhabi. We have an office in Dubai as well. Normally, I'm based in Dubai, so we have we have been very actively actually trying to promote us among the Web3 world and want to make us a better user experience and promote us and get maybe intentions from all these users and then trying to become a better trading platform in the next, I would say, in the next year or the next bull cycle. I think at the end of this year, we would see the bottom of this bear market, and we hope there's a new bull markets coming. Yeah.
One of the things I've learned over the years is that hope is not a strategy. you know, I
Yeah,
should have.
well, I say I hope, but I'm pretty certain a new bull market will come. It's just only sooner or later. So because I believe blockchain definitely have the real world utilities. People I can really benefit from blockchain.
Yeah, yeah. I believed in Amazon back in 1999, and it didn't take off until 2016, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
say the bull market is delayed. Say it's delayed 5 years, 10 years. You know, have you ever had to abandon an idea that you loved? And if you didn't, if you stayed conviction, what did it take to stay with conviction through a prolonged period of waiting?
I think I missed a lot of the long term runs because if I recall, I had my first stock accounts 2003 when I was in college. So that's when I started buying Apple and Google shares stuff soon, like very soon after. So I think to remember it's $1.02 I bought Apple shares at the time. I had more than 30,000 shares using my the savings I have for my school tuitions. So I made some money. I sold early because um, I didn't really think things would grow that fast, right? So I think the technology will grow, but I never anticipated that fast. If I hold long enough, it will definitely change a lot of things, right? So I think for me for now, I think I will stick to the ideas Bitcoin's gonna make to $1 million. So even though we have seen so much drop in the price lately, I'm still holding my part of Bitcoins. So I think we will see it. And then, like you said, we already learned the lessons from before. So now I'm gonna stick to the ideas I have.
So you develop conviction through through not having conviction, basically.
Yes, yes. Basically, we learn lessons, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, what do you think the difference is between owning a company and being responsible for it?
Mm, well, that's lots of I think this question has lots of the answer. But I can say it from a different perspective because when I was when I was a VC investor, so like the way VC works, we always gonna be like maybe 20% shareholder or maybe less. So we are minority shareholders, but we would have lots of rights because we would have the first rights of selling, or if the companies decide to go public, we will have the first rights to actually unlock of shares. All kind of very good terms towards institutions. And that time, even though I'm a shareholder, or even some of the companies will eventually get up to majority shareholders over 50%, we will still like a kind of a investor, not the owner, right? So from the investor's point of view, eventually we want to make money on our investment, or at least on paper we're not losing money or not losing much, right? So but as when you become the actual owner or actual founder of the company, is I think the things change totally different because you would have to look at every details. You want to look at every details yourself, and but sometimes you don't have time, right? So you feel responsible when the company actually you see things is not going right. You would maybe feel responsible for your employees because you think if you make the wrong decision, it's going to affect lots of employees, not just yourself, and it's gonna make it like decide the fate of the company. So there's lots of burden or lots of stress when you're doing that. So being the founder or the actual owner of the company is definitely there's lots of more responsibilities. But I think at the same time, I would always maybe find a ways to release some of the pressures, maybe just do some exercise and sometimes go in the morning meditation just to make sure your head is clear and when making the right decisions, right? So that's how I see it. So yeah, from the both side. Yeah.
Got it. So say you're
Yeah.
right, and I hope that you're
Mm,
right that Bitcoin goes to $1 million sooner than later. Okay,
hmm.
20 years from now, okay, you're
Yeah.
retired, you're on a beach, or you're traveling, you're doing whatever you want, and someone else is running LeveX, right?
Mm, mm.
What do you hope that they protect?
Well, the number one priority is the safety of the user's asset, right? So security is the top thing, I think. Yeah. No matter what, you should put that in the first place. And daily you're gonna have to, or well, even now we from time to time we will run like a security checking or audit with third party, make sure our coding and everything is all secure. Second is also you need to listen to some of the traders' feedbacks. So basically, what we have been doing really good is that we often get feedbacks from the KOLs or from some of the traders because they have some questions about certain functions or they want certain functions, and we will gather the ideas. We will do internal discussion. Eventually, we want to improve our product. So that's very good feedbacks, and we will take it. So I think that's secondly very important. I think the last thing you would do is just, I think, it's the company culture. We treat employees very well. So right. So if I think we have a very relative smaller team compared with the big platforms. But I think it's all also benefiting us because we have a flatter internal structure. So employees can talk to me very directly if they have any feedback. So and I can communicate with them very efficiently as well. So I think it increased our productivity as well. So I think that's important. So we don't. I think I always make a good example of Hyperliquid because they're one of the very top firms, right? So they only have like a 10, 15 employees running such a big platform. So that's something we always want to learn, and we actually we are working towards that direction as well. So
Got it. Seems like the most profitable companies in this industry have the leanest teams, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
um, so well, Tether also had a lean team, you know, hyper.
yeah.
So,
I
so
think
it,
it's important, especially in this type of bear market. I think there's news some other platforms shutting down because they has been like their stuff has been too crowded. Probably they're running costs is really high. So yeah.
so if listeners remember one thing from today's conversation or one thing about you that you want them to remember, what would that be?
Uh, You mean from yeah today? Yeah, I would say definitely on LeveX. I think this is the platform I have put in lots of my energies and sauce into developing it. I think the ideas or all the features actually derived from the real traders. So we really treat the traders experience very well. At the same time, we put lots of concentrations on technology and security, so you don't have to worry about any safety issues on our platform. Especially recently, there's some code storage issues with the wallets. So I think sometimes you can trust the platform. You can leave some of your maybe bitcoins on our platform. Is totally safe. We can guarantee that. So I think that's one thing you need to remember. I think LabX is gonna be there for a long while. Then we want to build up from here, and we want to become the top platforms. Yeah.
And what do you want? And what do you want my listeners to remember about you?
For me, I think I think I really like to talk to users, or sometimes I would have some spaces also launched on my X account, so people can follow me. And it's my Twitter is Harvey D Harvey Liu, so THE Harvey Liu. That's you can follow me on my Twitter. And also, our LeveX official account is just at LeveX. So it's very simple, easy to remember. You can follow us, then we will often have lots of events, or we have giveaways and everything. So you can come and experience and see what we are doing. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for your time today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.